Hello everyone, welcome to Sri Lanka Polymer Research Forum. This is a virtual forum on the polymer research happening in Sri Lanka. I welcome you all. As you know, this is organized by TechnoBiz. We have a good number of researchers from the Sri Lanka. We have a well-experienced very senior researcher and also senior researcher, and also have junior researchers. We have a combination of various researchers presenting in this program. I welcome all of them to this program today. The program will be like this. The agenda, of course, there is not really fixed at 30 minutes, 20 minutes like that. There is a little variation. So basically, I do the introduction of the program, then quick about TechnoBiz, then we have welcome remarks, and then we have these are the topics which will be presented. One on the rubber research developments at the Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka, improving the mechanical properties of natural rubber clay nano-composite vulcanized. And we have a topic on the effect of EVA and PVC ratio on the physical properties of microcellular sheets, eco-friendly foam rubber composite from natural rubber latex, and we have a topic on the film properties of pre-vulcanized natural rubber latex films produced out of creamed latex. So we have 5 different topics today under this Sri Lanka Polymer Research Forum. And after that, we have Q&A session. The way Q&A session happens today is that you can submit questions in the question box. There is a question box. All of you can see, submit questions. But these questions, we address them at the end of all the presentations today. Okay. But after each presentation, I will remind you to post the questions on this specific topic. Okay. So please do post your questions in the question box. When you write the questions, you make sure that you put the name of the speaker first. Right? Attention to the speaker name. Then so that we address that speaker will address the questions first. This is a format of it. Okay. Then let me give you a quick introduction to TechnoBiz. As you know, TechnoBiz is an international resource center for industries and technologies. We offer global services. We have exhibitions, training, conferences, webinars, business networks, publications, talent search, knowledge tests, consulting, and also business matching. But all these activities, first thing it connects is education. What today forum is also connecting to the educational aspects of it. So education and also business opportunities, business networking. So business plus networking. These are the 3 pillars of TechnoBiz. What we focus in terms of these industry segments, of course, the main segment is the polymer industry. We do in the rubber industry, plastics, polyurethanes, and also adhesives and coatings, and also the process technologies with reference to chemical engineering technology, energy, environment, water and membranes, filtration, separation, various things. When it comes to the virtual activities, of course, as you know, this is a virtual event. And we have 4 types of events organized by TechnoBiz. What you are joining is a research webinar. Under the research webinar, we promote research developments happening. Okay, and we have know-how webinars, which is a basically educational platform with the various international experts from the well-experienced subjects. Okay, so we have pure educational platform, knowhow-webinars.com, and we have a technology webinars, which is basically focusing on promoting the commercial technologies from the suppliers. So there is a special segment on technology webinars. And other thing we have is eminent personality webinars, which is focusing on the well-experienced and well-respected people and about their professional journey. So we have 4 types of formats of events. What you're joining today is a research webinar focusing on the research development. It can be from the academic side, like research institutes, or industry research. It has a combination of it. I encourage all of you to check this website for more information. Maybe some of the topics will be relevant to you, useful to you as well. Okay. See, this research forum, we have a YouTube channel called TechnoBiz channel. Some of the programs we post in public domain, and I encourage you to check this TechnoBiz channel. And this webinar, this research forum today is going to get recorded, and it will be available in the YouTube channel of TechnoBiz as well. So if you're missing the live session today, you can watch this whole program in our YouTube as well, in the YouTube channel. Okay, so please do check. Okay. And all, as I said, is always check our website for up-to-date information, technobiz.org, and you can write to me at my email address, okay, if you need additional information. You know, I can organize this program because of this person. This is Mrs. Yugandha Piyadasa. She is the managing director of this TechnoBiz. With her support, I can put together this program with inviting various Sri Lankan researchers in the polymer industry. So I'm thankful to Mrs. Yugandha. She is a managing director. She actually is the similar service what we offer as a global service, and this TechnoBiz Lanka is focusing on the Sri Lankan activity. So I welcome Mrs. Yugandha Piyadasa to give welcome remarks for the audience, please. Okay. Can you open your webcam too? Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Feram. Good morning to all of you and welcome to TechnoBiz. The TechnoBiz is pleased to announce its Sri Lanka Polymer Research Forum 2021. And I am happy to say that this is the first time we are going to have this type of webinar in Sri Lanka. This webinar serves as a multidisciplinary forum for the discussion and exchange of information on the research projects and research findings undertaken by undergraduates, graduates, and researchers from universities, research institutes, and the industry. As TechnoBiz, we are keen to foster meaningful networks with academic and industry experts, both locally and globally, to help sustain our drive. This is a great opportunity to bring academics, professionals, and industry experts together from different parts of the country. I would like to extend my invitation to you all to work with us for the betterment of the industry and finally to the country. This type of events foster graduate students to develop for their communication and presentation skills. The event are open to researchers from all disciplines. Multidisciplinary involvement of these events encourages researchers to focus on effectively communicating their work to diverse audience. This exclusive event for researchers will consist of a live interactive program that includes a series of high level of skill. I would like to talk about today's presenters a little bit. Dr. Dilhara Edirisinghe from Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka. She is well-known scientist locally and overseas. Dear Madam, we honestly thank you for accepting our invitation and talking out your precious time for the Polymer Research Forum of our institute. The presenters and the participants too will be motivated to see you and receive your blessings. Your participation will make the event more memorable and cherishable. Dear Dr. Sudarshana Pereira from Institute of Technology, University of Moratuwa, I am extremely happy to see that you have accepted our invitation and presented one of the researches you have done on nanotechnology. I appreciate your acceptance of our invitation and talking type from your busy schedule. Then I am very happy about our three young scientists who are here with today, Ms. Kasuni Ekanayaka and Ms. Sashini from Uvavellasa University and Mr. Vimukti Dhananjay from University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. This will be an important forum for you students like you who are going to find different career paths after their education. This experience and knowledge will definitely help you in successful planning of your career. I am sure that TechnoBiz is able to arrange all the facilities to make this event successful. We will try to encourage more students to participate in this type of forums and make those programs a remarkable event for both of us. And next to my dear Mr. Peram Prasad Rao, we would like to express our appreciation on behalf of Sri Lanka and TechnoBiz Lanka for your remarkable service as a founder of TechnoBiz. The contributions you have made have been invaluable to us. We wish you much luck in the future. Dear Dr. Susantha Sirivardhana, Deputy Director, Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka, thank you very much for your offering your assistance, sir. I really appreciate your willingness to help out outside your current position. Dear participants, I can see more than 80 number of participants from locally different parts of the world and renowned universities, industry experts from locally and overseas. You are always such a help and I appreciate your support in every way. I am so happy to have you all and I am looking forward to working with you as we move into the next phase with our growing webinars. Once again, would like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion. Looking forward to seeing you at the future event as well. I strongly encourage you all to become actually engaged in the various course sessions, exhibitions, and discussions conducted by TechnoBiz. Wish you a good day. Over to you, Peram. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and over to you, Peram. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yugandhar Madam. Thank you very much. It's as I think now everybody knows about what we are doing more. Thank you very much. Let's get to the today's session on the technical session of the Sri Lanka Polymer Research Forum. I'd like to go with the first speaker, Dr. Dilhara Edir Singh. She is from the Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka. She's going to talk about the rubber research developments at Research Institute Sri Lanka. Let me give you some more additional information about Dr. Dilhara before she will make a presentation. She is head of the Rubber Technology and Development Department. She has more than 30 years of research experience in the field of rubber technology. And her research areas mainly in the environmental friendly, cost-effective modification process for latex and dry rubber-based compound product waste, and also the latex and dry rubber composites of the natural rubber as well as synthetic rubber for the special applications. The dry rubber composites with the waste materials for different applications, cellular rubber products with latex as a dry products, and also she also worked on the nano materials. Now she's also in the rubber recycling as well. And she has more than 86 international local publications, and she has 4 patents and also an industrial design to her credit. Additionally, she has received a number of awards. I have a list of awards here, and let me read out for all of you. For understanding about a great scientist, great researcher from Sri Lanka, Dr. Dilhara Edir Singh. She received National Science and Technology Award in 2010. In the category of development eco-material, eco-friendly processes for the industry, and also she received the Presidential Award in 2012 for the Best Innovation in Environment category. She also received the PRISL, the Plastics and Rubber Institute Sri Lanka Merit Award in 2015 for the significant contribution made towards the development and growth of polymer industry in Sri Lanka. And she receives Technology Award of Excellence from the National Science Foundation 2016. And she received again the Presidential Merit Award in the Chemistry category in 2018 and award for the Scientific Excellence in the rubber sector during 2016-2018. Wow. She has extensive credentials, excellent experience. I'm sure her presentation will be very useful today. Let me start her presentation. I invite Dr. Dilhara for her presentation. Please stand by. Stand by. Please stand by.
Good morning, everybody. The title of my presentation is Rubber Research Developments at the Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka. The Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka is the oldest research institute, and it celebrated 100 years of excellence in 2009. Head office and agronomy departments are situated in Aglawatta, and chemistry and technology departments are situated in Ratmalana. The Ratmalana complex consists of 4 departments, and the Rubber Technology and Development Department is the main department catering to the rubber product manufacturing sector in Sri Lanka. The mandate of the department is to carry out research and development work on overall aspects of rubber technology to upgrade the rubber-based product industries in Sri Lanka in order to acquire the global standards, thereby making Sri Lankan rubber products competitive in the international markets. Testing of raw rubber, rubber compounds and products according to international standards are also being carried out at the department. In addition, the staff is involved in transferring technology, providing guidance and hands-on training to small and medium-scale entrepreneurs and rubber smallholders on manufacture of rubber-based products. I will present a summary of the research and development work carried out by the staff of the Rubber Technology and Department during the past 12 years. The content of my presentation include research studies, developments on rubber compounds, products and processes, award-winning developments, and developments related to the COVID-19 pandemic, and R&D work in progress. Several research studies have been carried out on latex. Polyvinyl acetate, which is a stiff polymer, was blended with natural rubber latex according to a special blending technique, and cast films and gloves were produced. Strength and aging properties of the cast films and gloves were at a high level. Tear strength, tensile strength and puncture strength improved with the incorporation of polyvinyl acetate. Puncture strength of cast films of blends was superior to that of the 100% natural rubber cast film. Examination gloves produced were of good quality with excellent aging resistance. Natural rubber latex-based cast films were produced with the natural oil, linseed oil, as well as soybean oil. This research was carried out to see whether the petroleum-based plasticizers, such as white oil used in natural rubber latex-based products, can be replaced by the natural oils. Surface and strength properties improved, elongation and break, and aging properties were at an acceptable level. The cast film produced out of linseed oil exhibited a glossy surface finish. In another study, natural rubber latex foam was produced with the non-reinforcing fillers, talc, calcite, dolomite, and china clay. The optimum loading of filler to maintain compression set below 16% was found to be 20 pHr. These fillers were loaded to natural rubber latex foam compounds with the aim of increasing the hardness and density. Low ammonia centrifuge latex is conventionally prepared with the secondary preservative system TMTD and zinc oxide. However, TMTD generates nitrosamines, and there is a search for alternatives for the TMTD. Low ammonia centrifuge latex was prepared with a novel, low-cost, readily available water-soluble amino chemical. This amino chemical can act as a bactericide and has the ability to denature proteins. No generation of nitrosamines were found, and the MST of the latex was at a high level. VFA number was similar to that of the conventional low ammonia TMTD zinc oxide system. In another study, natural rubber latex foam was produced with aloe vera. Aloe vera contains phenolic compounds which are known to act as antioxidants. And also aloe vera contains antiseptic agents, antivirus, antibacterial, and anti-cancer chemicals. The latex foam produced with aloe vera exhibited good aging properties. And also the foam produced with greater than or equal to 50 pHr aloe vera did not show any microbial growth even after 6 days of inoculation. Several research studies were conducted on dry rubber and rubber plastic beds. Natural rubber, modified natural rubber latex foam-based beds were produced. The foam base was treated with the fatty acids, namely stearic, lauric, and oleic acids. As expected, curing of these composites was slower than the composite prepared with natural rubber and unmodified natural rubber latex foam waste. Processability, reversion resistance, abrasion resistance, and aging resistance improved with fatty acid treatment. Abrasion resistance was superior to that of the 100% natural rubber compound. In another study, natural rubber was blended with polybutadiene rubber and reclaimed rubber. The conclusion was 80-10-20 natural rubber BR reclaimed rubber composite is the best in terms of properties required for tire treads. Also, natural rubber, chlorobutyl rubber composites were prepared with carbon black and silica. 80-20 natural rubber chlorobutyl rubber composite with 10 pHr of carbon black and 50 pHr silica was the best in terms of properties required for tire inner liners. Also, natural rubber composites were prepared with cinnamon oil treated with aniline phenol and a combination of these two chemicals. This research was conducted to see whether high aromatic oils, which are used as processing aids in natural rubber compounding, can be replaced with this treated cinnamon oil. Aniline treated cinnamon oil incorporated composite showed improved properties over the others. Properties of this composite were superior to those of the composite prepared with high aromatic oil. Further, natural rubber as well as natural rubber SPR composites were produced with carbon black and pyrogenic carbon. Pyrogenic carbon was produced according to a special blending technique, and rubber wood was used for the synthesis. Natural rubber composite with 40 pHr carbon black and 10 pHr pyrogenic carbon gave excellent results. In another study, natural rubber composites with methanol extracted fruit of moringa oleifera leaves modified with ascorbic acid were produced, and the composites exhibited good aging resistance. This is because moringa oleifera leaves and ascorbic acid contain several phenolic compounds which can act as antioxidants. In another study, natural rubber polybutadiene rubber composites were produced with the mineral fillers calcite and dolomite. Dolomite is more readily available in Sri Lanka than calcite. And in this project, calcite to dolomite ratio was varied, and also the particle size was also varied. Replacement of 8 micron size calcite with 8 micron size dolomite was possible in solid tire compounds. Resilience and tensile properties were in accordance with the requirements. Further, rubber composites were produced with natural fibers, namely coconut fiber, bagasse, palmyra fiber, pandanus or screw pine fiber, pineapple crown fiber, and ericanut husk fiber. This research was conducted to see whether the carbon black, which is suspected as a carcinogen, can be partially replaced with these natural fibers. Properties of coconut fiber fuel natural rubber composites were superior to those of bagasse fuel composites. Further, mechanical properties of palmyra fiber fuel 90-10 natural rubber polybutadiene rubber composites were superior to those of coconut fiber fuel composites. Elongation and break, abrasion resistance, and tear strength of 100% palmyra fiber fuel composites were similar to those of 100% carbon black field composites. So in overall, results indicate that Polymer fiber is a better partial replacement for carbon black than coconut and bagasse fibers. 60-40 NR-SBR composite filled with equal amounts of carbon black and Polymer fiber was the best in terms of properties. Pandanus fiber filled natural rubber composites were also produced. Pandanus fiber contained natural rubber composites showed higher elongation net break and lower compression set in comparison to the composite prepared with 100% carbon black. The conclusion was replacement of 50% of carbon black with pandanus fiber is possible without affecting physicochemical properties. Pineapple crown fiber filled natural rubber composites were also produced. Resilience improved when carbon black in natural rubber composites was partially replaced with the pineapple crown fiber. Replacement of about 10 to 20% of carbon black in natural rubber composites with pineapple crown fiber is possible without affecting the properties. Also, replacement of 67% of carbon black in natural rubber composite prepared with Erican and Huss fiber is possible without affecting hardness, resilience, and compression set. Rubber composites were prepared with natural fibers treated with natural and synthetic rubber lattices, silane coupling agent, ethanol, and KOH. These treatment of natural fibers was carried out to improve adhesion between the rubber and fibers. Strength properties, elongation net break, and abrasion resistance of natural rubber-based composite prepared with compounded natural rubber latex coated coil was superior to those of the composites prepared with compounded synthetic rubber latex coated coil. 80-20 natural rubber, SBR bend composite prepared with compounded natural rubber latex coated Polymer fiber also showed excellent results. This concludes then partial replacement of carbon black with treated Polymer fiber is possible without affecting physicochemical properties. Tensile properties and abrasion resistance of natural rubber composites prepared with pandanus fiber treated with ethanol, silane coupling agent, or KOH was superior to those of the composite prepared with the untreated pandanus fiber. Natural rubber composites were prepared with Si69 treated coil, showed an improvement in tensile properties, abrasion resistance, resilience, and compression set in comparison to the composite prepared with untreated coil. So in overall, the results of these studies indicate that surface treatment of natural fibers gives an improvement in physicochemical properties. Micro and nano, in another study, micro and nano coil fibers were synthesized, and the natural rubber composite prepared with nano coil fiber showed a marked increase in water absorption in comparison to the composite prepared with micro coil fiber. Rubber composites were prepared with textile fiber waste. This textile fiber waste was obtained from textile mills in Sri Lanka, and the textile fiber waste consisted of 98% cotton and 2% polyester. Hardness of natural rubber composites increased when calcium carbonate was partially replaced with textile fiber waste. Abrasion resistance of composite prepared with textile fiber waste was higher than that of the composite prepared with 100% calcium carbonate. This project was conducted in collaboration with the Textile Department of Open University of Sri Lanka. Several studies were conducted in regard to natural rubber, LDPE, low-density polyethylene blends. These studies were conducted mainly in collaboration with the Chemical Engineering Department, Chemical and Process Engineering Department of the University of Moratuwa. 50-50 natural rubber low-density blends were prepared with coupling the Si69 coupling agent according to sulfur peroxide and a combination of these two vulcanizing systems. The combined vulcanizing system was the best in terms of tensile properties and abrasion resistance. Natural rubber is incompatible with LDP in molecular scale. So for improvement in properties, the addition between natural rubber and LDP should be improved using coupling agents such as SI69 and titanium coupling agents. 70-30 natural rubber low density blends prepared with titanium coupling agent showed good physical, mechanical, chemical, thermal, and aging properties. The low density polyethylene in natural rubber blends was partially replaced with recycled low density polyethylene, mainly for cost reduction. Calcium carbonate filled natural rubber low density polyethylene waste polyethylene composites were prepared using methyl salicylate as coupling agent. 70-10-20 natural rubber low density polyethylene waste polyethylene was the best in terms of properties, including water resistance. Also, calcium carbonate filled 30-60-10 natural rubber low density polyethylene waste polyethylene composites were prepared using jackfruit latex as a natural coupling agent. The composite prepared with 1.5 parts per 100 parts of polymer of the coupling agent was the best in terms of properties. Natural rubber-based foam rubber was produced with different blowing agents, namely sodium bicarbonate, DMPT, and isopropanol. Sodium bicarbonate is inorganic and gives rise to an open cell structure. DNPT and isopropanol are organic and gives rise to closed cell structure. Foam rubber prepared with isopropanol showed the lowest compression set, and low loadings of blowing agent improves tensile strength and elongation at break, whereas high loadings of blowing agent decreases compression set and increases water absorption. Several developments, about 35 to 40, were conducted during the past 12-year period. Several recycling processes for polymer waste have been developed, and mechanochemical reclaiming processes have been developed for the materials listed in the presentation. That is brown rubber tire using an amino chemical, GRT using a disulfide-based natural product, natural rubber-based carpet waste using an amine, natural rubber latex waste using an amine, compounded NBR latex waste using an amino chemical, rubber band waste using a quinoline, NBR glove waste using an amino chemical, NBR glove waste using this amino chemical combined with a disulfide, NBR-based salt trim rubber waste using a disulfide-based natural product, and microcellular rubber waste, slipper sole waste using an amino chemical. And some of these technologies developed have been transferred to the rubber waste product manufacturing industries. Most recently, a mechanochemical modification process was developed for thermoset rigid polyurethane foam waste using a natural protein at the request of a large-scale rubber product manufacturing company. Several rubber compounds and products were developed mainly at the request of small and medium-scale entrepreneurs. Lightweight rubber stump and low resilience and high abrasion-resistant rubber ball for cricket practicing purpose was developed. A natural rubber latex coated gunny material-based sole for bedroom slippers made out of banana fibers. Natural rubber latex foam backing for coil mats. Stopper band compound based on a natural rubber EPDM composite for the use in agricultural fields. Natural rubber latex-based adhesive for leather straps of shoes. Non-toxic natural rubber latex-based adhesive for paper using a natural preservative and a natural tackifier. Non-conductive NBR-based compound for grommets used in assembling of electric cables. SBR-based compounds for condenser end mount and wiring bunch push. EPDM-based compound for suction end mount. Natural rubber low-density polyethylene blend for roofing applications. Synthetic rubber-based compound with good heat, abrasion, and oil resistance for the sliding shoe of crawlers. This development was conducted at the request of the Road Development Authority of Sri Lanka. Natural rubber latex foam-based ear plugs. Natural rubber latex-based soft robotic gripper to handle eggs, tomatoes, etc. This development was conducted in collaboration with the Mechanical Engineering Department of the University of Moratuwa. Non-toxic, transparent, light color natural rubber latex-based infant item. natural rubber-based compound for protective caps of bicycles, natural rubber-based compound for bridge bearings, natural rubber and neoprene rubber blade compounds, and methyl-methacrylate grafted rubber and neoprene rubber blade compounds for adhesives, natural rubber-based tie patch compound, natural rubber-based outsole compound for leather boots, natural rubber-based composite with durian husk fibers for slipper soles. This development was conducted in collaboration with the Textile Department of Open University of Sri Lanka. Natural rubber-based compound for soft rubber mounts, SBR-based brake pad compound for bicycles, EPDM-based cable guide compound for motorcycles, can sealant, adhesive for foam rubber, natural rubber latex-based binder for rubber product waste, transparent wound dressing for burns using radiation vulcanized natural rubber latex and collagen. Several awards were won for patented invention. Natural rubber latex-based flowers and leaves suitable for floral decor won the Presidential Merit Award and the bronze medal at the International Inventors Exhibition held in Geneva, Switzerland. This natural rubber latex-based flowers exhibit several advantages over the flowers made out of plastic and fabric. Polymer produced out of dip product waste won the National Science and Technology Award in the category Development of Eco-Material, Eco-Friendly Processes for the Industry, and the Presidential Award for the Best Invention in the Environment category. The main application of the polymer is as a weed controlling device, and the other applications are as a playground mat and a sheeting for hospital beds. High-performance lightweight prosthetic foot based on hybrid nanomaterial for natural rubber nano-composite won the Technology Award from the National Science Foundation of Sri Lanka. This development was funded by the National Science Foundation of Sri Lanka and was conducted at the request of the Ranaviru Sevana Army Rehabilitation Center situated in Raga. The prosthetic foot developed consists of two layers, the inner layer and the outer layer. The outer layer was developed using hybrid nanomaterial for natural rubber nano-composite, and the inner layer was produced with a nanostructured natural rubber cellular material. Mechanochemical reglazing process for ground rubber tire using garlic won the Presidential Merit Award in the chemistry category. Several developments were conducted in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic. Skin-colored fashionable gloves with mehendi designs suitable for teenagers were produced. Another glove with a device to release sanitizer to the palm of the glove was produced in collaboration with a small and medium scale entrepreneur. Natural rubber latex compound suitable as a waterproof coating for tents made out of fabric was developed at the request of a small and medium scale entrepreneur. Research and development work in progress. Natural rubber composites with synthesized nanographene for electrical applications. Natural rubber composites with synthesized nanofibers of Polymer. Natural rubber latex-based fishing item as a substitute for the currently used natural product, synthetic rubber or the synthetic rubber-based item. This development is being carried out in collaboration with NARA, that is the National Aquatic Research and Development Agency. Cast toys and teething rings with readily available natural ingredients. Novel toy items by latex casting. Rubber components for several biomedical items. Natural rubber latex-based coating for wool carpets at the request of a foreign company. I would like to thank Mr. Peram Prasad Rao, CEO of TechnoBiz Thailand, for organizing this webinar and inviting me to deliver this presentation. Mrs. Sugantha Piyadasa, Managing Director of TechnoBiz Lanka Private Limited, for coordinating and making arrangements in regard to this webinar, and management of the Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka for giving me the approval to conduct this presentation. Thank you all for your kind attention.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Dilhara. Unbelievable, incredible research activities are going on. I have a couple of questions before we go further. Guys, any questions you have on this presentation, please, you can post your questions in the question box and we will address them at the end of the presentation. All the presentation, we will address questions. But before I proceed to the next presentation, I'd like to ask a couple of questions to Dr. Dilhara. Okay, Dr. Dilhara, can you open your webcam and yes, okay. First of all, very much thankful to you to sharing all the research is happening at RRISL. Incredible. I say, I wonder, you guys have excellent team doing a lot of work is focusing on the how to utilize the waste materials. Is there any reason for you that working on that how to utilize you are really interested in that subject on one of the things? What's your opinion? Why you use a lot of waste materials and recycling? Yeah, please. Okay, let me check your can you open your speaker, please? Yeah. Okay. Just a second. Yeah, can you try again now? Your speaker, please. Yeah. Yes, now it's okay.
Now it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Pera. The reason for conducting developments on recycling is we get several requests from the industry because a lot of waste is being accumulated in the industries. So we have to cater to their requests. So we have, because we get a lot of waste from different products. So we have developed different processes for different products. So and most of the developments we have transferred to the industries at their request.
And these research is available for the in public to access, or what it is? Like, it is a contract-based research.
No, some are contract-based because some I think we can't disclose to other companies because on their request we started. So we will transfer the technology only to them. But some are available. So anyone can request for any recycling process. Yeah. So
if somebody, some industry wants to get some research to happen, they should contact you. No,
they should contact. They should send a request to our director. Because director position is vacant, the additional director is there, so they can send a request to the additional director, then he will forward it to me, and with his approval we can initiate the project.
Okay. And how much percent of research is been commercialized so far? You have so much work is done, and so how much percentage of the work research results been commercialized or put in use, real use?
I think it's around 30 to 40%, because the commercialization process is slow. So for that, we'll have to develop new policies and all those things, because we have some policies at RRI, so we can't just commercialize it. So we have to get board approval and all those things. So the commercialization process is a little bit slow.
That's super. And you have 30 years of experience. Among the research all you did, what is your favorite research? To your heart, that I did the real best work, most satisfying research. Because I see lots of research. In researchers, there is always something special. So what is
the best work? Because for my PhD also, I have done some work on recycling. I think I enjoy developing techniques on recycling. So at the moment also I am engaging in several developments on recycling.
So recycle, anything project research work that related to the recycling is interesting, most interesting for you, and because it helps the environment. Yeah. So
Mainly on recycling of rubber product waste. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take more questions to you at the end of the program. Thank you very much. I will now move to the next presentation. Thanks again, Dr. Rai. Actually, I really like the summary of all the research happened at RRI. You don't see this kind of list in many of other programs, what we have conducted so far. Probably this is the best in terms of summarizing the research developments at RRI itself. Thank you very much. Now I move to the next presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Now I'm going to share the next presentation is on by Dr. Sudarshana Pereira. He is from the Institute of Technology, University of Moratuwa, based in Sri Lanka. He will be presenting a topic on improving the mechanical properties of natural rubber, clay, nano-composite vulcanized. Let me quickly introduce about his profile. He is currently working as a lecturer at the Department of Chemical Engineering and Polymer Technology Department at the Institute of Technology, University of Moratuwa. His main expert is, of course, not just limited to on the dry and latex rubber, but also conduct research on both industry and academic level in the field of the plastics, surface coatings, and also adhesives. He did his PhD from the University of Moratuwa. His PhD research was the preparation and characterization of natural rubber monoritolite clay nano-composites and their vulcanizates. And he worked in several industries as a research and development executive, production manager, and consultant. So Dr. Sudarshana has an extensive profile with the research, and particularly is focused on the composites, the rubber. I invite him to make a presentation. Please stand by. Let me open his presentation file. Okay, just a second. Okay, here we go.
Hi, my dear ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Sudarshana Pereira from Division of Polymer and Chemical Engineering, Institute of Technology, University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka. Today, my topic is improving mechanical properties of natural rubber clay, nano-composite, and vulcanized. The concept of nano-composite is discussed frequently in research work and some industrial application for nearly 3 decades of field. The concept of nano-composite is mainly used to increase the mechanical properties of natural rubber. Today, my topic covers the concept of nano-composite, requirement of nano-composite, advantage of nano-composite, challenge in nano-composite, drawback of nano-composite, and how to give solution to overcome such problems. I would like to share my 7 years experience of nano-composite in the research lab. It is well known that mechanical properties of natural rubber clay nano-composite are greater than that of natural rubber, but such improvements are not in the satisfactory level what we expect from nano. This is the main reason why nano-composite is still not the favorite as a reliable solution for industrial applications, and it is only limited to academic research. The main reason was that nanoclay has higher surface area and they are easily aggregated due to its higher surface energy. But most of us believe that we added nanoclay and can obtain better properties. this is wrong. Even though if we add nano clay, it has higher tendency to get aggregated and deviated from its nanostructures. So we can obtain superior results. First of all, I would like to give a small introduction about natural rubber. We all know natural rubber latex is obtained from tree EVA bacillus. There are main types of industries established on natural rubber: dry rubber industry and latex industry. We all know natural rubber gives excellent features not shared by other materials. The strain-induced crystallization, high tensile strength or wide range of hardness, low heat buildup, low compression set, good electrical insulation, good resistance to abrasion, tear and fatigue. However, natural rubber needs more reinforcement effect. So there are many types of fillers used for this purpose. With support of reinforcing fillers, the properties of natural rubber could be enhanced further by adding significant amount of filler. It is well known that tensile strength and modulus at 300 could be enhanced, but there is a significant reduction of elongation at will. If hardness is improved by adding fillers, there is a chance to reduction of tensile strength. However, I can tell you one: you can improve the overall mechanical properties by smaller loading of nano clay rather than using higher loading of conventional fillers. Anyway, proper handling of clay with minimum aggregation is must to obtain the superior result. I would like to discuss other types of filler before I come to this topic of nano. Carbon black is widely used as a filler with natural rubber. We can obtain better reinforcement effect from it because carbon black forms strong rubber filler interactions with natural rubber. It gives good modulus, abrasion resistance, and good electrical conduct. But there are some drawbacks of carbon black. We cannot apply carbon black for producing color product because of its black color appearance. It also makes environmental pollution too. So one of the best solutions for this is the silica used with coupling agent. This filler is also widely used with natural rubber, but for my research, I selected nano clay because of its layered structure with higher integrity space. Its behavior as a filler is quite different with other fillers. Type of clay. You can see the structures of clay. It has a layered structure. That's why it is called as layer silica. In the layer silica, clay layers are connecting each other by creating integrity space. Most of the clay layers are negative charge and simple cation in integrity space can help clay layers together by electrostatic attractions. By applying mechanical forces, such clay layers can be separated. Separation of clay layers is very important if you need to prepare nano-composites. It is most important step. Normally, we neglect in our research. There are so many types and grades of clay, but in my research, I selected monomonolite clay because it has higher integrity space and swelling behavior. You can see the structures of monopolymer clay at the top. The behavior of intercalation and exfoliation chemistry of monopolymer clay is excellent. The second picture at the below, you can see the structure of organoclay. Normally, quaternary amine phosphanium type long chain cation can replace the simple ions in the intercalary space. Such clay is called organoclay. By this process, hydrophilic clay is converted into hydrophobic. Hence, it is more compatible with natural rubber. Organoclay can disperse properly in the rubber phase with lower aggregation compared to monopolymer. If you have past experience on preparation of organoclay dispersion, you may observe that organoclay also has a trend to settle down and clay aggregates. Organoclay is prepared in aqueous medium and it is dried to prepare solid organoclay. At solid stage, the prevention of clay aggregation is very difficult even in the dispersion of organoclay. But clay layers separation from clay stacks becomes more easier due to intercalary space of compatibility with natural rubber. Rubber clay nano-composite. In the theory, at least one dimension of clay layers in the composite should be less than 100 nanometers in the polymer phase to be considered as a nano-composite. One dimension of the nanoclay, especially thickness of the single layer clay layer, should be in the nano range to satisfy the basic requirement to be nano-composite. If clay layers are aggregated, it cannot be categorized as nanostructure. I think you can now understand how important of prevention aggregation of nanoclay while processing. In the picture, you can see different structures of clay. First structure is the phase separated structure, in which you can see rubber macromolecules surround the clay stack. In this structure, you can see higher number of clay layers aggregated as stack. So this structure is not the nanostructure. It is the type of microcomposite. In the second picture, rubber macromolecules penetrate into intercalary space and arrangement of clay layers in the stack do not change. Only the change is increase in the intercalary space. This type of structures are called as intercalated structures. In the third picture, individual clay layers are separated by rubber macromolecules. Everybody who tries to expect to have such exfoliated clay structure because clay layers are better dispersed in rubber phase. This is the theoretical concept, but it is practically impossible. I completely disagree that large rubber macromolecules can penetrate into intercalary space in the clay, as you can see in the picture, because intercalary space is very, very low. Sometimes small loops of rubber chain can penetrate it, but at the time there is a chance to separate of clay layers from clay stack can change the entire arrangement. However, we cannot expect higher degrees of clay exfoliation by this method. Anyway, clay can be intercalated by small cations such as quaternary cation and intercalated structures can form. What is the advantage of such quaternary amine intercalated organoclay for preparation of nano-composite. When mechanical force is applied, the generated friction on clay by rubber can separate the clay layers from clay stain. At this stage, organoclay is more effective than pristine, unmodified monoporite clay. It is the one of the advantage of organoclay. Do you believe that clay can be separated into single layer structure of well-known exfoliated structure? I strongly say it is impossible. If we can obtain such exfoliated structure, there is no doubt of that we can achieve remarkable properties. Most of the academic research try to achieve it, but it is not very easy task. My dear industrial friends, do you actually need such exfoliation structures? If you can obtain the tensile strength around 40 megapascal without reduction of elongation net break and improvement of modulus at 300, I know what you try to do next if you have such results. Most of you do not need higher properties for your product because I know you are not going to produce rubber band. You probably add more very cheap fillers to reduce the cost of formula according to the properties what you can reduce the properties from the maximum to the low after few trial and error experiment in your laboratory to the properties as you need. So what I want to tell you is that we can get such higher properties by separated clay structures with very few clay aggregates. If you take such structures, do you believe that it is nano-composite? It is not nano-composite according to the definition. It may be in between nano and micro. But we can obtain better properties rather than conventional clay such as kaolin. I know most of our industrial friends like for this achievement. This is the time we should need to change our attitude and get the benefit of it. Why we worry about definition and criticize concept of composite if you can get remarkable properties by separated structures with minimum aggregation. In my research, what I sense that obtaining the separate clay structures with minimum aggregation was not easy. It is the reason why further modification of clay is so important. I also modified organoclay by silane coupling agent with triethoxypropyl tetrasulfide, TESP. You can see the process diagram used to prepare modified clay using TESP. I prefer to use name OMMT4 organoclay and OMMTS for TESPT modified organoclay. I would like to explain the process diagram later if you have any questions based on it. I use XRD to measure intergallery space. Unmodified MMT has lower intergallery space. OMMT, the organoclay, has the highest intergallery space. It is very interesting to show that TESPT modified organoclay, OMMTS, has low intergallery space than organoclay. Now you may think that I grafted TSP2 on organoclay, but it causes to reduce the integrity space. I grafted TSP2 on organoclay for one of the great purpose. Can you guess what kind of properties that I expect to achieve? I just need to lower the surface energy and decrease the hydrophilic nature of the clay. Clay has SiOA, cyanol group, and it is more reactive. So surface energy is so high. If we can create siloxane network, SiO-Si type bond, siloxane network, the surface energy is reduced. There is a possibility of sulfidic bond in TESPT for cross-link with rubber, and compatibility is increased with natural rubber. The reduction of surface energy supports to separate clay layers from clay stacks easily. It is the one of the most important requirements for preparation of nano-composites. Please think this situation is like if you close the door with little wide open, it can be fully opened by a small touch, irrespective of how big that opening is. The only requirement should be the door must be opened by little force. Similar situation is happen in OMFTs. The clay separation ability of clay is increased by modification even though integrity space is low. Now, I believe you know the reason why separation of clay from OMMT is easier than OMMT. I know now you have another problem. Why integrity space of organoclay is reduced after the grafting of TSPT? The reason is there is a chance to leave the long chain quaternary amine while grafting of TESP. Leaving of the long chain quaternary amine is not the big issue because higher separation ability from clay stack is increased. However, quaternary amine has no covalent bond with clay and electrostatic interactions are not strong enough to retain such cation. FTIR analysis of clay. FTIR analysis can be done to confirm the presence of quaternary amine and TESPT in the clay. Extra peaks were given for such modification, as you can see in the slide. The respective functional group, according to the peak here I mentioned, you can compare, you can see some extra peaks were given due to our modification. Even though you produce clay successfully with modification, the processing method that you use to produce nano-composite is also more important. How do we incorporate clay into rubber? It can be done by mechanical blending, that means mechanical mixing. OMMTS is ideal for that mechanical blending. Mechanical force applied on clay can cause friction on clay stack and separate clay layers. Due to high viscosity of natural rubber, it will generate high friction, which is the driven force necessary for clay separation. One of my previous study, I proved that such ability of OMMTS is higher than OMMT. However, if you need to have further better properties, I do not recommend the mechanical blending process because clay separation and distribution is not so good in mechanical blending. The emulsion blending. This is another process we can use to prepare nano-composites. The other processing method, the emulsion blending. In this method, it is necessary to produce clay dispersion. It should be added into rubber latex, that means clay can be added in rubber latex, and mixing should be continued until clay layers are well separated and distributed in rubber latex. It should be then coagulated. Clay and latex particles are negative charge, so acids can be used for coagulation purpose. Quick coagulation is strongly recommended. The coagulation means the two material, clay and rubber, both coagulate. However, I strongly recommended not to use acid to this coagulation purpose because acid make clay aggregation and your effort would be useless. This is one of the main drawback of emulsion blending. How do we overcome by this problem? We must go for non-acidic coagulation. I know most of you are not that much familiar for this. I found two chemicals for this purpose. One chemical is sodium dodecyl sulfate (SD), which is long chain anion acted as anionic surfactant. The advantage of this anion is that it can further separate clay layers from clay stack due to similar charge of clay. It should be added first before second chemical is added. This surfactant makes clay is more stable. So you can increase the mechanical mixing and clay layers can be separated effectively. The second chemical is the trimethyl ammonium bromide, the long chain cation surfactant. Once you added this surfactant, you can guess what happened to negatively charged latex particle and clay. They are quickly coagulated. Now you may think that CTAP can make aggregated the clay like acid. It is quite difficult because it acts as, that means CTAP act as intercalation agent of organoclay. I think you remember it is used before as an intercalation agent to produce organoclay. Anyway, we must use minimum loading of surfactant at sufficient loading for our requirement. Otherwise, excess amount of surfactant will act as plasticizers and reduce the mechanical properties of our final product. Preparation of nanoclay composite can be done using two pathways. Blue color labels show you the pathway of emulsion blending. Orange color labels show you the path of mechanical blending. I would like to share my experimental results of nano-composite prepared by mechanical blending and emulsion. I think it is very interesting for you. NCA composite was prepared by emulsion blending method. NCC composite was prepared by mechanical blending method. 2 and 5 PHR are referred. 2 and 5 are referred for 2 and 5 PHR of TSPT grafted organocle. In the SCM image, you can see that emulsion blended method gives very less clay aggregation compared to mechanical blending. Cross-link density of emulsion blending method is high compared to that of prepared from mechanical blending. Tensile strength of the nano-composite prepared from emulsion blending show highest value close to 40 megapascal at 2 PHR OMMTS loading. Right? That is the advantage actually we can get from this method. Elongation net break also shows no significant reduction in elongation net break. Modulus also has no higher improvement. Normally we know to have a very high loading, but to higher properties we add more pillars. That time there is a improvement of modulus as well. So it means that this nano composite can be used to reduce mechanical properties as we like after adding more pillars. You can see that the trend when you add 5 PHR of OMMTS. At that time, modulus at 300 and hardness can be increased by reduction of tensile strength and elongation at break. Hardness and tear strength. You can see such trend in this slide too. Anyway, by this method, the better tensile strength, elongation at break, modulus at 300, hardness and tear strength can be achieved at significantly lower load. Can you obtain those values using such kind of small loading of the conventional clay? It's very difficult. Those properties are highly consistent at lower loading and greater than similar loading of conventional pillars. In my summary, I would like to highlight the conclusion of my study. You can obtain higher mechanical properties from nano-composite using lower loading of nanoclay. That is one of the advantages. It is better if you can use monazite clay as a clay rather than using conventional pillars like kaolin. Preparation of organoclay is recommended to increase the integrity, space and compatibility with natural rock. It is very important. It is recommended to modify organoclay by silane coupling agent to reduce the surface energy and increase the hydrophobic properties. And clay separation step is also very, very important. It can be increased by modification by intercalation agents such as quaternary amine, followed by grafting siloxane network with sulfidic coat. It acts as coupling agent and increase the compatibility. The anionic surfactants such as sodium dodecyl sulfate can be used the further separation of the nanoclay. That is one of the advantage of this process. So emulsion blending is more effective than mechanical blending. That's why we get the higher result. The quick co-coagulation of clay fill latex is recommended for better properties. If this process, the coagulation process is slow, there's a chance to settle down of the clay and it form aggregation again. The combination of dodecyl sulfate and acetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide can be used as the effective coagulation agent. So I recommended you to use this combination if you go emulsion bending method and need to coagulate latex before you prepare the dry seed. It is required to have fully exfoliated structure to get superior mechanical properties. That's what we always try to achieve. But in this method, you can get separated structures with minimum aggregation. I'm not going to have such exfoliated structure, but there's a chance to have some exfoliated structure. But I think I try to obtain the separated structures with few clay thickness having very low clay aggregation. So I believe this composite that I prepare is in between nano and micro level. So my only request from you is that please don't criticize the concept of nano. Please understand the science, how nano structures behave. Then you can get lots of benefit from it. We can do lots of things if we understand the real truth. So thank you for your participation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sudarshana. Guys, if you have any questions on this presentation, please post your questions in the question box. When you post the questions, please do mention the speaker name, because we address all the questions at the end of all the presentation. Kindly put the speaker name first. At speaker name, then write the question. So we address it at the end. Okay. Dr. Sudarshana, I have a couple of, before we move to the next presentation, we'd like to know some more information about your university, what facilities are there. Can you open your webcam? Okay. And also your speaker. Okay. Try again. Yeah. Okay.
Is it okay now?
No, it is good. It is good. Okay. You got excellent research work happened at your university, and I see that particularly on the composites. And I know that your university is well known, and people that I know are that many of them are from your university. Can you please explain or elaborate more information about your department? What kind of research is happening at your university and your department related to the polymer industry, whether it is rubber or composites? And yeah, can you share some light on it, please? Thank you.
Yes, actually, my University of Moratuwa. So I engaged there as a PhD student. Now at the moment I completed that one. So that time my university there are actually the two sections actually. That means now I have belongs to Institute of Technology one. The earlier that I worked in the chemical process engineering department at University of Moratuwa. So there I work under the very great supervisors like Professor Santegode and Professor Valpalage. So I think they are actually the leading researchers in this type of research work. So that time I was able to work with them. Actually, this concept is given by actually my supervisors. So that time, that I think 7 years ago, so I started this research work. So I know there are so many research at that same level in our university that conducted normally. Natural rubber, plastic, the blend, the composite. There are a lot of research, and so many our research students at the moment also work in our university. That is the situation in my the chemical engineering department. Now I engage in the Institute of Technology. So that part is really very closely work with the industries. So normally we provide the better. We provide the student training for industries, and we got the problems from industry, and we solve in the research level. So that what actually normally we are doing at the moment.
So it's more towards the industry collaboration activities. Yeah.
Yes, industry collaboration activities mean normally not my research. I work in collaboration with the industry. This is actually granted by that university grant commission. So normally, that what actually I want to tell you that why I come to this webinar, because normally that I got the very remarkable result. That means normally if we can get the tensile strength 40 megapascal that having elongation at break greater than 600 and modulus with remarkable values, hardness, and so actually that means we need to give this message to the industries in research level. We did the very best one due to this COVID period. So it's very difficult time period to us to actually promote these things. So normally that's why I engage this webinar also to give this message to everyone. So we did actually so many this kind of thing. Normally, especially in one of the research I done with nylon and wood dash, how that wood dash is incorporated to nylon and get the very good properties. That is actually done as a consultancy work by me. So likewise, we are doing so many things, and we are actually looking to get the support from industries as well to work them very closely to communicate between us, having a very good relationship. That's what Mr. Peram at the moment we are looking for.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Surishna. Okay, you have some questions received. We address those questions at the end of the presentations. Yeah. Okay. Please stand by. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Guys, if you have any questions to the related to the Dr. Sudarshana's presentation, I do suggest you to post your questions in the question box, and please mention his name so that he will address it at the end of all the presentation. Let's move to the next presentation, which is focusing on the effect of EVA and the PVC ratio on the physical properties of microcellular sheets. This presentation is given by Ms. Kasuni Ekanaike. She's from the researcher at the EVA SR University based in Sri Lanka. Let me give additional information about her. She's a young researcher. She at the university. She also worked at the as a research and development trainee for 4 months at the Samsung compounds, and she undergone the 1-month training program on the coconut and rubber processing. I'll invite Kasuni to make a presentation. Let me open her file. Please stand by.
Hello everyone, and all of welcome to today's session, Polymer Research Forum Sri Lanka 2021, and also warmly welcome to my presentation. My name is Kasuni Ekanakan. I am a researcher at EVA University. As you can see on the screen, today my topic is effect of ethylene vinyl acetate and polyvinyl chloride ratio on physical properties of multicellular sheets. My topic is particularly interest those who are willing to engage and already engage in footwear industry. This is the content of my presentation. I hope to expand and discuss my knowledge and findings under the following topics. Let me explain the background of the research. Polymer blending is a strategic way to achieve desired mechanical properties that cannot be achieved from one single material. In nowadays, mostly use synthetic polymers instead of naturals. EVA and PVC are those kind of polymers that widely used in industrial applications. They show complex visibility behavior, but they help to improve the physical properties of final product, such as abrasion, flexing, toughness, etc. Hence, But there is a lack of knowledge and investigations regarding the how can we change in physical properties with the polymer ratio, especially in microcellular sheets that used in footwear applications. This lack of knowledge limited the further industrial applications of EVA and PVC polymer blend. Hence, it is mandatory to understand and investigation how the polymer ratio can be affect on the physical properties of microcellular sheet used in footwear industry. Those are the objectives of my research. My overall objective was to study the effect of EVA and PVC ratio on physical properties of microcellular sheets. To fulfill my overall objective, there were three specific objectives. First one is to study the physical properties of microcellular sheets with virgin EVA. Second one is to investigate the change in physical properties of microcellular sheets with different EVA and PVC loading. Third one is to choose one single polymer ratio that cannot be one single polymer ratio that gives a better results for the performance. These are the materials and method I was used to fulfill my objectives. Here I both use TCP as cross-linking agent. It's widely used cross-linking agent, especially in EVA processing. ADC used as blowing agent that helps to create the microcellular structure of the prepared sheet. All procedures was undergone according to the standard method. These are the equipment that I was used in to evaluate the performance of the prepared microcellular sheets. This research was conducted with the use of 6 treatments. Each treatment consisted of 3 replicates. So this study was laid in CRD model to evaluate the performance. 6 samples were prepared varying the EVA and PVC level. EVA level was changed as 95%, 90%, 85%, 80% and 75%, while PVC level was changed as 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% and 25%. Here you can see the structure of the all samples. Here, that sample indicated by letter A is the control sample that does not contain any amount of PVC, but totally consists with EVA, and sample B, C, D, E and F consist with different level of EVA and PVC. DCP, ADC, zinc oxide, stearic acid and calcium carbonate were used in same quantity for preparation of all those samples. This is the common scenario of preparation of microcellular sheet. First of all, EVA and PVC were blended together with the use of 2 roll mill to assure the maximum level of mixing. Then zinc oxide, calcium carbonate, ADC and DCP was added. After the preparation of polymer blend, the blend subjected to compression molding to prepare the sheet. This prepared sheet evaluated by the standard procedure. The physical properties of hardness, such as hardness, compression set, abrasion resistance, specific gravity, and flexing were evaluated. This is the very important part of my study, results and discussion. The table shows briefly the structure of the every sample. Here you can see the effect of blend ratio of EVA and PVC on hardness of microcellular sheets. Here I was expected 40 to 45 level of hardness. All expected values were designed according to the industrial requirement. Here you can see that the control sample indicated by letter A shows the highest level of hardness. But there were different level of hardness with the incorporation of PVC. Only sample E and F laid between the expected level. Compression set is another important physical character that should be considered in footwear industry. This chart exhibits the how can be effect of polymer ratio on the physical properties of microcellular sheets. Compression set assure the quality of the product by showing the ability of material to retain its original thickness after removing the applied force. Here I was expected 65% of maximum level of compression set. Here sample A, B, C, D and F all samples exceeded the expected level. Control sample showed the highest level of compression set, but there was no difference among sample A, B and C. Abrasion set is another important criteria that should be significantly looked in footwear industry. This chart shows the abrasion resistance of test sample with different level of EVA and PVC ratios. Here I also designed maximum level of 1000 cubic millimeters of abrasion resistance. But sample B, C and F exceeded the expected level, while control sample shows the lowest level of abrasion resistance. Specific gravity is another important criteria, and here you can see that control sample A gives the highest level of specific gravity. But here I was expected maximum level of 0.25 of specific gravity. Thus, only sample D and E closed to expected value. This table shows the results of flexibility test of all samples, but there was not difference between amongst those samples. Flexibility is important in footwear industry because our foot is always subjected to flexing. Based on the results and performance of the sheets, I can conclude the EVA PVC ratio of 80 to 20 gives the best result for the all tests. And also, I can conclude that PVC can affect on physical properties of EVA microcellular sheets that used in footwear applications. So PVC have considerable effect on improvement abrasion resistance and the reduction of hardness as well. Based on findings and results, I can give you suggestions and recommendations. First one is there should be a control measurement for gas trapping in microcellular sheets. Gas trapping is directly affect on the specific gravity. So there should be a control measurement for gas trapping, and that gives the accurate result for particular test. Second one is the same research can be carried out with tertiary blend instead of binary blend. Here I was used EVA and PVC binary blend, and we can add any extra polymers and can evaluate the performance of this particular blend. Third one is this research can be conducted from partial replacement to complete replacement of EVA by PVC. Another suggestion is the polymer blend can be done using natural fibers instead of PVC. There are many natural fibers such as pineapple fibers, banana fibers around us. So here we can use natural fibers instead of PVC and make environmental friendly product. EVA and PVC blend can be applicable for not only footwear applications and as well as construction, automobile and etc. Those are the references of my research, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Kasani. It's an excellent presentation on the EVA. Guys, if you have any comments, questions on this topic, please post your question. Please mention at Kasuni and post the questions so that she will address the questions in the Q&A session at the end of the presentations. Okay, I repeat, please put the speaker name, then ask the questions. Okay, thank you once again, Kasuni. Now let's move to the next presentation. This is focusing on the eco-friendly foam rubber composites from natural rubber latex, the effect of latex type and waste mica. And this presentation will be given by Mr. Vimukti Dhananjaya. He's from the researcher from the University of Sri Vijayawardhanapura, based in Sri Lanka. He will give some additional information about his experience and knowledge. He all gone through the 1-year industrial training during weekdays in Richard Paris Natural Foams, based in as a production and R&D department, and also did research work by collaborating with the Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka. Let's welcome Mr. Vimukti to make a presentation. Let me open his files. Please stand by.
Good morning everyone. I am Vimukti Dhananjaya from Rubber Research Institute, Sri Lanka. Today I am going to present my research on eco-friendly foam rubber composites from natural rubber latex, effect of latex type and waste mica. First of all, I would like to introduce my contents, objectives, materials, methodology. In the methodology part, I am going to describe about the waste mica filler processing, creamed latex preparation, natural rubber latex foam preparation, and characterization. In the results and discussion part, I have studied about the particle size data, morphology, density, shrinkage, swelling index, cross-link density, gelling time, tensile properties, tear strength, hardness, compression set, water absorption, protein content, thermogravimetric analysis, dynamic scanning colorimetric studies, Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy, electrical properties, biodegradability, and antibacterial properties with color. The objectives part, the main objective of my research was to compare the characteristics of cream latex manufactured using creamy agent and processing conditions, and also there were some specific objectives to compare the physical, mechanical, thermal, antibacterial, electrical, and morphological properties of foam rubber made out of both creamed and centrifuged latex, and to study the property changes of natural rubber latex foams with mica filler loading. Other objectives are to manufacture a green behavior improved natural rubber composites from waste mica and cream latex as a value added raw material. The materials I used here, the major raw material is natural rubber latex with 30% dry rubber content. Mica waste was used as the filler, sodium alginate as a creaming agent, diammonium hydrogen phosphate, ammonia as a preservative, potassium oleic soap as a stabilizer, diphenyl guanidine, sodium silicofluoride as gelling agents, sodium lauryl sulfate, polydicyclopentadiene copicresol as stabilizers, sulfur as vulcanizing agent, zinc oxide, zinc dithiocarbamate, zinc 2-mercaptobenzothiolate, and centrifuged natural rubber latex are the major materials I used. The methodology part, first and foremost, I have processed waste mica as a filler. There, waste mica was collected from the Matale mica mining industry and grinded into mica particles. I have sieved the mica particles using 30 mesh size and ball milled continuously for about 14 days. Creamed natural rubber latex preparation stage, I have preserved natural rubber field latex with the addition of ammonia with 0.7%. Magnesium removal was conducted using addition of 10% diammonium hydrogen phosphate solution. In the stabilization stage, I have added 10% potassium oleate soap and 15 minutes mixing. As the creaming agent, I have added 10% sodium alginate and 15 minutes vigorously mixing was conducted. The separation stage, addition into in the separation stage, I have added the whole natural rubber latex compound into the creaming unit and allowed to separate about 14 days. The natural rubber latex foam preparation, I have followed Dunlop process for this procedure. Deammoniation was the first stage during this process. It was 15 minutes continuous mixing with a mechanical agitator at 5 rpm with a continuous airflow, and the stabilization stage I have added potassium oleate soap and sodium lauryl sulfate and stirred 20 minutes using magnetic stirrer in 600 rpm. In the compounding stage, sulfur, ZTEC, ZMBT, antioxidants, and processed mica waste filler dispersions were added as the compounds. Then I have allowed them to mature about 20 minutes with the mixing and 8-hour maturation. Then to volume up the compound, it was beaten by using hand mixer until volume reached 3 times of its initial volume. Then the gelling agents were added, zinc oxide, DPG, and sodium silicofluoride SSF added and mix another 1 minute to homogenize the solution. Then in the forming, I have transferred the whole compound to the mold, and it was placed at 100 Celsius for 2 hours in an oven. Then I have washed the sample and dried it, and then they were allowed to testers. In the formulation of natural rubber latex foams, you can clearly see here there are 6 samples from centrifuge latex and 6 samples from cream latex. The differences between each 6 samples is the filler loading. I have added from 0 to 10 waste mica into the natural rubber latex form with the 10 increments 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pHR values. The same has followed to the cream latex also. The major compounds I used there: potassium oleate soap, SLS, ZTEC, ZMBT, sulfur, the stabilizer, DPG, zinc oxide, SSF. They are used as the same pHR values. The only varied measurements are the latex type and the waste mica filler loading. In the results and discussion stage, as I mentioned above, latex quality parameters play a vital role during the production of cream latex and centrifuge latex forms. So the total solid content of the centrifuge latex forms is about 61.4, but in the cream latex there is a huge difference from the centrifuge latex, because it was reported as 68.6%, and the dry rubber content also there is a significant measurable difference between the values. It was 6.2 for centrifuge latex, and the cream latex it was 67.4. But the volatile fatty acid number, alkalinity, and mechanical stability time values are same for both of centrifuge and cream latex types. In the results and discussion, I also studied about the chemical composition of the mica waste. There I have identified the major material inside the mica waste was silica. It is a huge benefit for my research because silica is a kind of reinforcing material, and magnesium, aluminium, potassium, iron, calcium, sodium are in trace amounts in the total percentages of the mica waste composition. The particle size analyzing data, the red curve represents the unprocessed mica waste, and the processed mica waste is indicated by the blue curve. You can clearly see the distribution has narrowed down and the particle sizes also has reduced. In the unprocessed mica waste, wide distribution and larger particle sizes. In the processed mica waste, there is a narrow distribution and reduced particle sizes. There are some measured values, some measured readings of the particle size analyzer, and then the morphology is a significant factor for our research, because the morphology plays a vital role when forming bubbles inside the latex form. So first of all, I have studied the morphology of mica waste. There is the figure A represents micrograph of unprocessed mica waste. Figure B represents micrograph of processed mica waste. The unprocessed mica waste, they are with rough edges and higher particle size distribution, but in the processed mica waste we can observe sharp edges and lower particle size. In the morphology, if I going to step up to the morphology of latex forms, there is a significant difference between the centrifuge and cream latex forms, because the cell diameter of the latex forms is considerably different, because there is a lower cell diameter in centrifuge latex form, but in the cream latex form there is a high cell diameter. However, with the increasing of filler loading, you can see the cell diameters are increased. Also, you can see C naught stands for stands for centrifuge latex, and R stands for cream latex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means the filler loadings. However, you can clearly see there is a significant cell wall deformation, in the later filler loadings in the cream latex forms. If I step up to the density of natural rubber latex forms, the density of cream latex forms is significantly higher than the centrifuge latex forms, because the higher TRC and TSC of cream latex and mica is more denser than natural rubber latex. Because of that, with the increasing of the filler loading, we can observe the increase and the huge escalation of the density values of natural rubber latex forms. However, with the increase of filler loading with the 2% increments, there is a gradual increase. In the shrinkage part, the higher shrinkage could be observed in cream latex, because as we discussed in morphology, cell deformation and cell wall fracture could be observed in cream latex forms, and the reinforcing ability of mica shrink the latex forms, it is a normal thing. However, the swelling index is a major parameter to measure about the crosslinks between the cells and how they are interconnected. However, the swelling index is higher in cream natural rubber latex, because increased cell diameter improve the free space. As we discussed before in the morphology part, I have mentioned that centrifuge latex forms cell wall diameter is considerably lower than the cream latex. So increased cell diameter improves free space, but mica is reinforcing filler that makes more crosslinks. Because of that, we can observe a declaration of swelling indices in later filler loadings. The crosslink density, as evident by the swelling index, you can clearly see the control samples. There is some sort of lower crosslink density values. However, in later filler loadings, there is we can observe a higher increase of crosslink densities. The chilling time, because of the more basic mica dispersion, it accelerates forming reaction, and also higher density increases the viscosity of the latex forms. Because of that, the gelling time, the time to gel, has been reduced with increase in filler loading. The tensile strength, here the tensile strength of the cream latex is slightly lower than the centrifuge latex. However, because of the higher reinforcing ability of mica, the tensile strength has attained higher values. The elongation at break, it is also the inverse pattern of the tensile strength. You can observe here the reasons for this strength also same as the tensile strength. At the modulus part, because mica is a more stiff material, we know it is a high rigid stiff material. Because of that, the stiffness of the latex forms has increased with the increase in filler loading. And the tear strength, it was also increased because of the higher non-rubbers and infer crack propagation in creamed forms, because when higher non-rubbers are there, the crack propagations inferred, and the higher hardness reduce the crack propagation. Because of that, we can observe, we could found that like trend in the tear strength. The hardness value, we know, as we mentioned about, mica is a very stiff material. Because of that, it is very sure, and it is very clear that the hardness values are increasing with the improvement of filler loading. And the TSC in creamed forms plays some kind of contribution for these factors. In the compression set stage, the compression set was lowers with the increases with the filler loading, and the recovery has decreased. I have plotted here the recovery percentage of the natural rubber latex forms. It has been lowered with the increasing of filler loading, because the higher cell elasticity of cell walls in creamed forms has governed the higher recovery percentage. And the cell deformation and larger air space surely contribute for this pattern. And the water absorption, we know there is a higher cell air traps, high amount of free space inside the natural rubber latex form. So the water absorption parameter has increased. The protein content, it is a measurement of allergens level of the consumers, because allergen levels, because the consumers pays much attention on this factor, because so reduction of non-rubbers in unit volume with filler loading, decrease in the trend of protein content. The data derived from thermograms, we can observe the peak temperature and onset temperature. There is a slower increase with the addition of mica. That means mica stabilized thermally the natural rubber latex forms, and also the same pattern could be seen in the cream latex. However, centrifuge latex plays higher thermal stability than cream latex. And also FTIR study, Fourier transform infrared studies, infer that there are some kind of peaks here linked OH stretching vibration of CH bonds in methyl group in NR, and also SiO2 vibration curves could be also seen in 834 and 749 peaks. Also the DSC analysis, from that I have observed the glass transition temperature. The glass transition temperature has increased with the increasing of filler loading, because we know mica has higher amount of glass transition temperature than the natural rubber. So surely it should be increased. The same pattern could be observed during my research also. And the electrical resistivity I have measured, because it has increased the huge escalation, the acceleration of the resistivity could be observed, because in higher mica loadings we have identified that larger cell diameters and cell deformation could be observed there. So because of that, higher free volume of air make higher electrical resistivity. The biodegradability, that means that is the main point that make our natural rubber latex forms more eco-friendly. So biodegradability, with the time, I have measured it from 0 to 8 weeks. For 8 weeks of time period, you can clearly see it has increased. It has increased in the both type of latex, and also with the addition of mica, it is a kind of support for being biodegradable. With the higher filler loading, larger air spaces and cell deformation allows bacteria and fungus to grow there, and also the bacteria rich medium could be improved, that parameter. However, it is the main problem, major problem, that burns the world today, because some kind of economies are very familiar with these types of researchers to make some kind of polymer products to biodegradable. So this is a very good answer for that purposes. However, the antibacterial properties during the usage, you can see antibacterial properties of of natural rubber latex forms in higher filler loadings. It is higher. The bacteria inhibition zone had been increased with the filler loading. The same trend could be seen in the cream natural rubber latex also. That I have observed the color changes of natural rubber latex forms with the time duration. However, there is no considerable color change with the time. So in the conclusion part, I would like to separately introduce the increase in patterns and decrease in patterns, cell diameter, cell deformation, tensile, mechanical parameters, water absorption, biodegradability, thermal stability, glass transition temperature, moisture absorption, cross-link density, and shrinkage like parameters have increased. However, other parameters has decreased. You can see here. The major conclusion: creaming is a better concentration process to achieve higher TRC, and by incorporation of mica, green behavior of natural rubber latex form could be increased, and usage of mica waste of one industry as raw material of another industry makes a commercial benefit. I have in the research publications, there are 3 research articles on processed mica waste field natural rubber latex forms. They are in publication procedure now, and also I should be thankful for my supervisors, Professor Lalin Karunanayaka, Dr. Susantha Sirivardhana, and Mr. Tushara Samarivira, for their guidance and support. And thank you. It's a nice presentation to be with you, and have a nice day for all of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vimukti. It's a very good presentation. Guys, if you have any questions on this topic, you can post your questions in the question box, and make sure that you attention to the Mr. Vimukti. Okay, thank you. Now we move to the last presentation in this program. Before we go for a Q&A session, our next topic is on the film properties of pre-vulcanized natural rubber latex films produced out of cream latex. This presentation will be given by Miss Shashini Lakshani. She's from the researcher at the University of University from Sri Lanka. Currently, she is working as a production executive at the polyethylene factory of Richard Perry's company, and as you know, she graduated from the UA University. She has done a research work by collaborating with the Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka as well. Okay, let's welcome Ms. Shashini to make a presentation. Please allow me to open our files.
Good morning to you all in Sri Lanka Polymer Research Forum 2021. I am Shashini Lakshani. The research has been conducted under the topic of film properties of pre-vulcanized natural rubber latex films produced out of cream latex. I'll begin by the introduction of the research. Then I'll go on to highlight the research objectives, and then I'll explain the methodology, results and discussion. Finally, I'll briefly discuss the conclusion. I had like to begin by drawing your attention to the introduction of the research. Basically, fresh natural rubber latex contains around 30 to 35% dry rubber content and around 65 to 70% water and a small amount of non-rubbers. But in the concentrated latex contains around 58 to 60% dry rubber content and around 40% water. So that farmers should deliver natural rubber field latex to the factory after collection of tap latex to concentrate the latex for processing. Natural rubber field latex can be transformed to concentrated latex because it can maintain the constant quality and also it can give economical transportation for latex. Among four various methods of latex concentration, centrifuging and creaming have the highest contribution. The centrifuging is a widely used and well-known commercial process, but it needs complicated and sophisticated machineries and skilled people. But for the creaming agent called sodium alginate can be used as the to add into the field latex, and then the creamed rubber fraction and the serum were separated due to a gravitational field. So that creaming process requires simple equipment and low power consumption. Pre-vulcanization, which gives intra-particle cross-linking, has high latex stability, simple to use over post-vulcanization, which gives inter-particle cross-linking. So, pre-vulcanized latex produced out of cream latex can be prepared in small quantity at home even, but centrifuge latex cannot produce likewise. In this scenario, this research study was carried out targeting cottage industry, targeting manufacturing of products with low capital investment. I actually investigated the effect of pre-vulcanized cream latex under three different types of accelerators such as fast, ultra-fast and delayed action accelerators. Identical centrifuge latex-based systems were also studied for the purpose of comparison. What I intend to do as overall objective was to identify the potential of preparation of pre-vulcanized latex produced out of cream latex, and also I have planned as specific objectives to determine the different accelerator effect of cream latex and centrifuge latex pre-vulcanization, and also to compare the pre-vulcanized latex film properties made out of cream latex with same made using centrifuge latex. Let's turn now to the methodology. Here are briefly mentioned the used materials with their purpose. In here, I have used three accelerator types such as ZDC, which can name as the zinc diethyl dithiocarbamate, and TMTD tetramethyl thiuram disulfide, and also TBBS, which can name as the 30-butyl benzothiosyl sulfonamide. Here are briefly mentioned the equipment that I used with their purpose. First, the initial latex properties of obtained natural rubber field latex and centrifuge latex were calculated according to the ISO test procedures. Then, cream latex was prepared from obtained natural rubber field latex, and the cream latex properties were determined under ISO test procedures. All water-insoluble ingredients were generally added into latex as dispersions. So, 50% sulfur, accelerators and activated dispersions were prepared separately. According to the formulation in Table 5, pre-vulcanized latex using centrifuge latex and cream latex were prepared under three different types of accelerators separately. The extent of vulcanization was determined using chloroform coagulation test while doing the pre-vulcanization. Then the films were prepared and Then the film properties were evaluated using ISO test procedures such as swell index, tensile strength, aging properties, tear strength, extractable protein content, and also the acetone extract. Here, I had like to elaborate the experimental design. Two-factor factorial design was used as not only depend on one factor, types of concentrated latex and accelerated types are the two factors. And ANOVA with Turkey all pairwise comparison was used for the data analysis at 0.05 significant level. Centrifuge latex with zinc diethyl dithiocarbamate, which can name as the ZDC, was the control among these all treatments. Now, let's move on to the next topic, which is results and discussion. According to the results, field latex shows the highest non-rubber content and centrifuge latex shows the lowest value. The non-rubber content of cream latex falls in between the non-rubber content of field latex and centrifuge latex. However, lower non-rubber content suggests that in addition to water, part of non-rubber substances were removed with both latex concentration methods. Cream latex has high non-rubber content while compared with the centrifuge latex. Hence, the volatile fatty acid number of cream latex is somewhat higher than the centrifuge latex. When we consider about the alkalinity of both centrifuge latex and cream latex decreased with the time due to the evaporation of ammonia. So, alkalinity was maintained at 0.7 on latex. Theoretically, when the swelling index is reduced, the crosslink density is increased, forming denser network chain. ZDC has contributed for the lowest swelling index, that means formation of highest crosslink density, while TBBS contributed for the highest swelling index, means formation of lowest crosslink density. In addition, at the same time, cream latex has shown lower swelling values than that of corresponding latex films made out of centrifuge latex. So, cream latex with ZDC accelerator showed the lowest swelling index and highest crosslink density. The next point I had like to discuss about the tensile properties. Tensile strength depends on the crosslink density and the type of crosslink system used, as discussed by Karamma in 1997. Take a look at the figure 2. As mentioned earlier, cream latex ZDC system could be considered as the best system of the candidate system if the tensile strength is considered. When the tensile strength of the TBBS systems are considered, they have recorded low tensile strength values with a significant difference. Thermal aging causes both cross-linking and chain scission. As you can see on this figure 3, after aging, tensile strength of all the samples has been increased due to the formation of additional cross-linking density due to lower non-rubber content in aged samples. Vast increment of tensile properties in TMTD and TBBS systems films after aging indicated the need of high temperatures for vulcanization process of those samples. The results were confirmed by the higher swelling tendency of above samples. Similar to the tensile strength, cream latex based films has shown the high tear strength values than the corresponding films made out of centrifuge latex, as figure 4. A significant reduction in tear strength of both TBBS system actually is also evident, similar to the observation made in their tensile properties when the accelerators are considered. uh, Cream latex TMTD has the highest tear strength, that means it has the highest level of resistance to crack the latex specimen. Acetone extraction is a quantitative expression associated with the degree of vulcanization as discussed by Blackley in 1997. As you can see in the figure 5, acetone extraction values also follow the same trend observed for swelling index. It could be seen that highest acetone extract value exhibited in TBBS system. This shows that in this system, curing agents incorporated in the both systems may remain unreacted and extract with the acetone. This supported the earlier explanation given for the substantially low tensile and tear strength of TBBS systems. After leaching, water-soluble proteins were extracted more from cream latex with a DC accelerator than other samples. Before leaching, low protein content was in cream latex than centrifuge latex. So, creaming, pre-vulcanization and leaching steps can be used in the manufacturing process to remove a significant amount of extractable proteins. Finally, let me give you the conclusion. When all the results obtained are considered, the pre-vulcanized latex made out of cream latex has shown better cross-link density and mechanical properties compared with that of centrifuge latex. Among the candidate accelerators, ultrafast accelerators showed overall best performance. Therefore, it could be inferred that pre-vulcanized cream latex with ultrafast accelerator system can be a new achievement for the small-scale product manufacturers, assuring energy efficient and less chemical consuming process, promoting greener rubber products. These are the future suggestions that I can give for the future studies. And finally, I need to express my most sincere gratitude to my external supervisor, Dr. Susan Sirivardhana, external co-supervisor, Mrs. QMS Priyanka, internal supervisor, Professor AMWK Senaviratna, and internal co-supervisor, Mrs. EAL Lochana, and all the staff members of Rubber Research Institute of Sri Lanka, Ratmalana. These are the references. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the nice presentation. Guys, if you have any questions on this presentation, please post your questions in this question box, addressing to the speaker, Shashini. Okay, at Shashini, you can write the questions and she will address them appropriately at the, now actually we're going to have a Q&A session now. Okay, may I request all the speakers to turn on your webcams. We have quite a number of questions out there for various speakers. And let me ask you. Okay. Sudarshana, Dr. Sudarshana, can you open your webcam as well? Kasuni, your webcam. Shashini, yes. I see Dr. Sudarshana has issues about his link, so I'm hoping he's getting back soon. Okay, let's first question to the Dr. Dilhara. You can see the question. I do request you to address it appropriately. Thank you.
So thank you for the question. Because initially we did the incorporation without treating the fiber, and afterwards we did the treatments. So both before treatment and after treatments, in several studies we have carried out. Process of removing fiber means in some cases we sent it through rollers. In the case of like Ericanet husk fiber, we send the fiber through like 2-roll mills. In the fibers were able to remove and it was separated. And after that, using the grinding machines, we reduced the particle size to the required levels. I hope the answer has addressed the question.
Thank you, Dr. Dilhara. I have one more question for you.
Yes, I think it will be possible, but we'll have to do some trials. So after trials, I think it will be possible.
Okay. So anybody post the question, please do in touch with Dr. Dilhara. No further assistance with more information, and maybe you can work out on some project together. Yeah. Okay. Now, Dr. Sudarshana, can you open your webcam and your speaker, please? Next question is to you, actually. Okay, he has a Dr. Sudarshana. Okay, he has connection issues. Let me go to the other questions. Okay, Kasani, for you.
Yeah. Thank you for your questions. And EVA blend shows the higher expansion ratio in compared with 100% EVA.
Okay. Let me go to the other question. Thank you, Kasani. Mr. Vimukti, you are there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a question for you.
Yes, actually, there are some kind of natural raw materials we can also use for as a filler for the natural rubber latex forms. Not only for the natural rubber latex forms, but for various polymer products and some kind of other products. We can also use these like materials like eucalypt tree bark and also dried tea residues. They are some kind of fillers we can use as the antibacterial material, and also cinnamon and ginger. We know they are some kind of antibacterial and smell generation materials in our day-to-day lives. We made them, so such kind of materials we can use as antibacterial natural materials, and also for the smell absorption.
Thank you, Vimukti. I have one question here for Shashini.
Thank you.
Shashini is for you.
Actually, thank you for the question. Actually, I have investigated the effect of centrifuge latex and also the effect of cream latex in same time. At the same time, I have do all the experiments for both samples, and I have investigated all the results at the same time. Yeah, I have studied the color of the samples, but when we consider about I have done some experiments for all the samples. For when I done the pre-vulcanization, the color was obtained, but it can very huge results. That is
Okay, thank you, Jivani. Sorry, thank you, Shashini. Actually, the Dr. Sushant Sudarshana is online with a different name. Let me post his questions first.
Yes, I am now.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, I now logging. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You can see your question. You can see the screen, right?
Yes, I can see the.
Okay, please address the question. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Now this is display. How do you measure the crosslink density swelling method? Normally, that method we can know. We normally I use the solvent, the toluene, right? So normally we can add that cross-link the cross-link rubber into that solvent. So before we get that before we put that rubber into that one, we should actually measure the mass of that sample. So finally, we can actually get the 2-3 days after we can get the the new mass of that sample. So by how we can get the how much that solvent absorb into that rubber sample. So there are some certain equations we should use to get that cross-link. So I think I can, if somebody actually needs to get the real procedure, it's better you can actually that email, so then I can send the equations and the real procedure. But normally we get the mass difference, and normally that by that value used with some equations, we can normally get the cross-link density value.
Thank you, Dr. Sudarshana. The guys, you know, the first person who asked the question, you can be in touch with Dr. Sudarshana for further information. Okay, next question is for you. So your research on based on the
so this is only for dry rubber product. Yes, normally this is you can apply this one for dry rubber product, because why I say like that, if we here I use surfactant, normally CTAP, sodium dodecyl sulfate. So that time if we use this one for latex one, so we need actually at that time to check whether what happened those surfactant for properties of the those latex product. So normally I recommended this one because once we add the clay into the rubber, so that time I separate clay layers as much as possible. So that time clay layers are better dispersed. No, so after that we should need to coagulate. That means that's why we can establish this clay in rubber at proper place. So that's why the coagulation, normally I use different coagulation method, not used by acid. So so that's how I can get the coagulate, right? So normally this coagulation or coagulate, that type of method is normally used for dry rubber method. But somebody who can try for the latex that kind of product as well, by ignore this one, so that is something else. So need to do another research to few things to be cleared. Normally what happened that surfactant to the late I mean final product. Normally I recommend that this method for dry rubber product.
Thank you. There's one more question here for you.
Elaborate on more about mechanical mixing of NR clay nano-composite. Elaborate more about mechanical mixing of natural clay nano clay composite. Normally mechanical mixing was done by my research using the intermix and two roll me. So normally those are the normal devices we use for that purpose. So normally that if we use that method, that mechanical mixing method, that method is very established
for dye rubber the product preparation, right? That this is the method normally established in our industries, and we got lot of benefit from that. But thing is, the mechanical friction that we use to the our composite. So it's very difficult that time. That normally that there is a friction generated. We know the clay layers has a chance to separate. But normally, if we get the normal clay particle, it's normally it may be sometime around 8 micron, like something like that. It has 3,000 clay layers, so it's very difficult to separate the clay layers. Normally, at least if we can get the clay stacked with 10 or 20, that is also good, but very difficult to separate clay layers by that. But if we use this clay added into latex and form, then we coagulate it, then we can the clay stacked with few clay layers can be dispersed in the rubber. So normally mechanical mixing that time is a little bit difficult. Normally once you add the clay into rubber, after that few clay layers, I think 10 or 20 that clay stacks, when incorporated into rubber, that time if you use the mechanical mixing, already that clay particle go into the rubber, so therefore it's very difficult to that time by friction separate. But our advantage is we can separate clay layers single or double or that a few clay layers. That means minimum the clay layers we can separate them. So therefore, later by friction it is not by friction to separate clay layers is not need that much. But thing is, if you add the normally clay as a clay stack having a lot of clay layers to the directly to the rubber and do normal rubber processing method, by that time it's very difficult to separate clay layers to the very small to minimum clay layers. That what normally I do. I think is it okay?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sushma. Then, Dr. Dilhara, do you like to add any additional comments on this question? Dr. Dilhara, do you have any comments on this mechanical mixing issues in the composites?
I don't think so, because actually I am not an expert on nano-composites.
Normally, actually, Mr. Peram, normally the somebody who argue that if we add clay into latex, at that time, normally the friction cannot separate clay layers. Normally, that's why there is no that much friction generated. Already we added that clay into rubber, no? Normally, that some people who argue that. But my point is, we normally add that clay into rubber by the minimum clay layers. That means 20, 10, 5, that kind of clay layers in the stack. So that time it is effective. But if you add the very larger clay particle into latex, that time I know it's very difficult to separate clay layers. So therefore, once you add the clay into the latex, that clay stack should have very minimum clay layers. That's why my point.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sushma. One more here for you.
What could solution if any company do not use latex? What could solution if any company do not use latex? Kaolin and bentonite and organoid comparison and how cost much as kaolin is low cost and organocle is very much high, 5 times than kaolin, level 3-4 times of silica. How it compensates with outstanding properties? Yes, normally if we use kaolin, right? The kaolin has a very low intergallery space, right? So separate kaolin, that is a one-to-one clay structure. So therefore, to separate clay layers from clay stack in kaolin is very difficult, right? It's very difficult. So normally, this method, if I use the organoclay, but this organoclay is also prepared by montmorillonite, right? So when you take the montmorillonite bulk content, I don't think it is very cost, right? So you can prepare organoclay from montmorillonite very easy, right? So if you take organoclay from another company, yes, definitely for your formulation you need you have to pay the lot of money. But my recommendation to prepare organoclay by montmorillonite, but it is very simple process, right? After that you can graft the silane 69 on that organoclay is also, it is not that much very difficult. You need the alcohol and normally 60 70 Celsius temperature that time you need. So I don't think, right, the organoclay is 5 times the costive than the kaolin. Yes, I know that one, but normally kaolin is not recommended because normally separation of the clay is very difficult. I recommend that montmorillonite, but you must uh, uh, prepare organoclay from MMT and graft that organoclay. Then that time clay separation is very easy. Normally, my point here, otherwise we separate clay from clay stack. So that time, so then you cannot get the proper result. Normally, the clay what we take should have very less aggregated structures. So I think in my today you can see my properties. I obtained the 40 megapascal tensile strength by using 2 PHR of MMT. That sorry, 2 PHR of modified clay. So that 2 PHR is very minimum amount. So you don't need to use the 10, 15, 20 PHR for this purpose. So therefore, due to if we compare our property and the use of that mean low loading of the clay, I think this is very cost effective.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sarshna. Guys, I hope all the questions have been addressed in a nice way for you. And if you have any questions, any comments, and additional points that you wanted to make, and I will share the contact information of all the speakers, you can reach out to them also. That's a question and answer session is over. We're almost about to close this program today on the Sri Lanka Polymer Research Forum. I would like to invite Mrs. Yugandha to give a thank you note to the audience and the speakers. You can open your webcam too. Yeah. Proceed. Go ahead, madam. Yeah.
Okay. Once again, warm and graceful good afternoon to the presenters and the participants. It is the biggest day in our history of TechnoBiz Lanka because we have hosted and concluded the biggest webinar in Polymer Research Forum in Sri Lanka today. This is a huge success, participating quite number of participants locally and overseas. Today's presenters, Dr. Dilhara, Dr. Sudarshana, Kasuni, Ashini and Vimukti. On behalf of the entire institute, I would like to thank you all for your excellent presentations. This program cannot be completed without you and your inspiring words. I have also obligated the participants locally and overseas. We convey our sincere thanks to all the participants for their active participation and commitment. I strongly encourage you to be, at the beginning, as I already mentioned, I strongly encourage you to become actively engaged in the various courses and sessions conducted by TechnoBiz. We would like to see you at the next programs as well. With that remark, we would like to conclude the program saying "Ayubowan" to everybody. Thank you all. Over to you, Peram.
Thank you, Mrs. Arenda. I think we'd like to take some input from our speaker as well. Speakers, please. Dr. Dilhara first. Let me open your speaker. Yeah, go ahead.
And thank you, Mr. Peram and Mrs. Yuganta, for organizing this excellent webinar. And I hope the participants, they were able to get some knowledge on the research and developments carried out in Sri Lanka. We apologize if we were not able to answer the questions as you all expected, because some of the questions, I think if there were, it would have been better if it was elaborated. So then we would have been able to answer the questions in a better way. And thank you all for the active participation. And on behalf of RRI also, I thank all the participants and the organizers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dilhara. Dr. Sudarshana?
Thank you for all who give me the support to engage this program. We are in at the moment a little bit of difficult period, so it's very tough to continue some research as well. So after some finding, even though I do some publication in international journal, I believe that normally our industrial friends are not aware about that. So my aim is here today to give them the real idea about my finding. So I think is success, because by this webinar, I think this information will go for the every places. So everybody who knows they can get the very some unbelievable properties with use of this nano-composite. That what actually I want to give, that because some our industrial friends normally they are discouraged to they start this kind of nano level projects. So but they think it's very difficult. Yes, it is very difficult, but there are some few things to clear. So then that time we can get the remarkable properties. So that this message normally, that's what I need to give the all my participant today. So I think it is success. So thank you for everyone who give me this opportunity me to do this webinar program. Thank you, Mr. Peram. Thank you, Ms. Yuganta. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sudarshana. May I invite Miss Kasuni? How was your experience preparation for this Polymer Research Forum?
First of all, I would like to convey my gratitude towards Mr. Param and Mrs. Yuganta for giving this opportunity. I think it was very successfully ended, and I'm happy to meet expertise in this same industry. Again, thank you very much.
Good. Keep doing the good work. Yeah, rubber industry is bright and good industry to stay on. Yeah. Can I invite Mr. Vimukti?
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to you and Mrs. Yuganta for attending such like Polymer webinar forum, and also it is a very huge advantage for our future works and future researchers. Also, I think this is a very good opportunity and a massive chance for everyone who are participating in this webinar and the research forum to take some idea and some new aspects for their new research also. And personally, I would be thankful for my supervisors, Professor Lalin Karunanayaka, and also Dr. Susantha Sirivaradana, the Deputy Director of Rubber Research Institute. Without him, I am not there, because he is the major giant behind me, and he encouraged me to achieve this success. So this will not this is not the end of our journey as graduates. We have to success more and more in our nearby future. So this is, as a webinar, this is a very good support for our works and for our researchers. And I actually wish the success for this like webinars, and I think to extend the service of you and Mrs. Yuganta, arranging these like webinars is a massive opportunity for Seoul society, not only for the Sri Lanka but also for the whole world. So thank you very much. Have a nice day and stay safe for you all.
Thank you, Vimukti. I appreciate it. Keep doing good work. As I mentioned to Kasuni, you guys are the future for the industry. Technology can be there, but we need a younger generation to stay on. Thank you very much. May I ask Sashini?
Good afternoon, sir. And I really appreciate the situation, and I really thankful to you, sir, and also Yuganta madam. And I really appreciate the situation. And thank you so much.
Okay, good. Thank you, Sashini. Keep doing good work and stay safe, and also continue to live in the rubber world, rubber or polymer industry world. Okay, guys, that's the end of the program today, and I thank you, each one of you, all the speakers, and Mrs. Yuganda for supporting and putting together this program, and all the audience. I'm hoping that you find it useful. You'll learn some concepts. Okay, this will continue. This is just a beginning. Promoting the research of the polymer industry research in Sri Lanka, and we plan to do the next event in next year, 29th May. That is a schedule for the next polymer research forum in Sri Lanka as a virtual event, so that both in local as well as non-locals can join this program. Once again, thank you, each one of you. Okay, I appreciate the journey, and also actually Dr. Sushanta is trying to join, but his links are unstable. So otherwise, I would have invited, because I see he has contributed, supported many of, I think the researchers, particularly the Shashini and also Vimukti. Okay, so it's good to work with senior people, senior expert people, and learn from them. With that note, keep doing good work, and we need a good research for the benefit of the industry, and I'm hoping to see you in the future programs. Thank you all. Bye bye for now.